We are all adjusting to our new normal with this pandemic, and that means people are out of jobs, and then people are looking for help with unemployment, and a lot of folks are looking just for new jobs, and businesses are in fact looking to hire. So Chris Rivera is the interim director for Guilford NC Works, and he is joining us today to talk about unemployment and employment. Just wanted to give you some stats. North Carolinians have received more than $617 million in unemployment. That's state unemployment so far. More than $198 million came from the state unemployment. More than $419 million is coming from the federal government. Okay, so we're talking about unemployment and we are talking about employment. So Chris, we're going to start first because we have a plethora of texts on both sides. We're going to start with unemployment. Someone is asking, is there a specific amount of hours that a worker needs to lose in order to get unemployment benefits?
Great question, Tanya. And again, as always, thanks for having me out. There is not necessarily a specific number of hours that an individual would have to lose in order to file for benefits. What we are being advised that if an individual has had a reduction in hours in any way, to go ahead and submit their claim. Under normal circumstances, you would experience somewhere around a 50-55% reduction or so, but we are being advised that there has been a reduction to go ahead and submit the claim.
I don't know if we're having some technical difficulties there, but we'll ask one more question and see if we can get all of that worked out. Someone is asking now about temp jobs. Are people having trouble finding temp jobs to hold them over for the time being? What kind of temp jobs are you hearing about?
So I don't think that we're hearing a lot of individuals having challenges getting temp jobs. We do have a lot of employers that are bringing individuals on, particularly in warehousing, logisticians, and things like that. We recently learned that Wayfair off of McConnell Road is looking to hire upwards of 40 seasonal or temporary workers, and they're paying at 17, 18 bucks an hour. So temp jobs are certainly available, and our staff are prepared to connect individuals in our community to them.
Gotcha. And the follow-up question to that, what kind of temp jobs are we looking at? And if it's a temp job, does it come with health care?
So in some cases, some temp jobs do come with health care benefits depending on the length of employment. And in most cases, temp jobs would not. So we've seen a hodgepodge of both scenarios. Wages, again, are the ones that we're really pushing, high wage temp positions to get people through the pandemic.
Gotcha. And is there a specific listing of like kinds of temp jobs that are open at this point?
Absolutely. If individuals in the community are looking for temporary work, they can visit our website at guilfordworks.org/jobs, and all available jobs, both permanent, part-time, and temporary, are available on that site.
All right, this is something that we've heard several times, I think every single time that we've done a Q&A, Chris. When will the unemployment office get more help workers to answer phones for the questions that I have?
Oh, Tanya. So, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on. We talked about the division beefing up capacity, adding 50 individuals in the call center. They're actually scaling that up to 1,600 individuals. They've reached into the career center systems and have solicited support from the Division of Workforce Solutions, who have lent them 200 full-time employees to help navigate and process claims. We learned today that they are now conducting outreach to individuals that have left messages requesting callbacks and things of the like. Again, they are trying to build that bench up to about 1,600. Keep in mind that since this pandemic started, they've processed well over 700,000 claims, and so 1,600 is a drop in the bucket when you really think about it.
Right, I hear you. Okay, so definitely people are frustrated because, there's been some, process issues there. But this person is asking, what are some of the most important things I need to know before I file for unemployment? Because I'm going to have to do that in the next couple of weeks. And maybe the first thing we should say is, hey, don't try and file during from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Try some off hours.
Off hours are always a good idea. Sundays are probably not the best time for individuals to try to get into the site because individuals that are currently receiving benefits are filing weekly certifications. So off hours are certainly advisable. What I'd say that they need to do, and we talked about this the very first time that we chatted, you have to be prepared to pack a lot of patience. The system is extremely overwhelmed. Persevere through it and keep trying. So I love the thought of non-traditional off hours to start the claim.
So there's some other things that people need to be aware of if this is the first time that they are applying for unemployment. They need to have certain documentation because they are going to be asked for certain things that maybe they wouldn't have off the top of their head.
Yes. So the big things that you are going to need to have would be the technical name for your employer of record. So if you have pay stubs, preferably your W-2s and things of the like, the address, your dates of employment, earnings that you made in the week in which you became laid off and or furloughed, a valid email address, social security number, bank routing information, and things like that, so they can move your payments into your account once approved.
Gotcha. And they are going to ask you what your hourly rate is. So you're going to need to calculate that.
Well, they're not going to necessarily ask the hourly rate, best of my understanding. They're going to ask you information in regards to earnings that you have had in the previous week.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so someone asked if your unemployment is getting ready to be exhausted, what do you do?
So unfortunately, as of right now, individuals that are receiving state unemployment are only eligible for 13 weeks. We do know that the Federal CARES Act offered 3 additional programs, one being to individuals that were self-employed and or gig workers that would normally not be eligible to, and that kicks off tomorrow, and I'm sure we'll cover more about that later. The second one was to offer an additional $600 federal benefit to individuals that were receiving claims. And then the third one was the potential to add 13 weeks of emergency extension to individuals that were receiving benefits. As of right now, the Division of Employment Security has not determined when or how they're going to implement that particular program. However, it is in the law and it is available, just waiting on guidance from DES to roll that out.
All right, we will absolutely talk about the federal payment that people are going to be getting and how they need to sign up for it and who gets it and all that other kind of stuff. We're going to talk about that right after we head to break. We do know that we have more information to give you, and if you qualify for the state unemployment that we're going to be talking about, the federal unemployment payment is going to happen automatically, and this is the web story that you'll want to go to so that you will be able to sign up for that $600 a week federal unemployment payment. And we're going to talk about who qualifies, how you qualify, and who automatically qualifies. That's coming up next.